Welcome to our new series, the 200 Movie Challenge. Our goal this year is to watch 200 movies that we haven't seen yet. If you want to listen to the full podcast where this clip is from, the link will be in the description. Now enjoy today's movie.
Soto, last week I got a challenge for a movie. Now, the ongoing joke for us that we've kind of made throughout the series, for you, on me, is will there be a movie worse than Under the Bed? Now, we talked about this last week because I'm like, or 2 weeks ago, excuse me, but I'm like, I might just go on Tubi and find something. I don't purposely look for the shit movies. I just take a chance. Maybe it's a hidden gem, or maybe it is shit. Like, you never know. But last week we recorded on the PlayStation, so my wife was listening, to our conversation, and afterwards talking about Under the Bed and will I see anything worse. And she came up with an idea. She's like, I want you to see the movie I consider the worst movie ever. And I'm like, I hope I haven't seen this because I got to see this. So, Soto, I watched this movie just called Killer Movie from 2008. Mm-hmm. It's just called Killer Movie.
Wow.
Killer Movie.
And it wasn't at Blockbuster. We never saw this at Blockbuster, huh?
I don't think so. Yeah, unless it was straight to video,
that's
I don't.
Era, right?
It is. It's a horror comedy. It was only an hour 15 minutes. I had to watch this on Pluto, so yeah, the short time was great. I loved it. All right, so let's get ready for this. So yeah, this stars Kelly Cuoco, who people will know from Penny as Big Bang Theory. It also stars, I don't know her name, but she leads Chicago Med. So this had a lot of stars before they got famous. I say that, but technically, Big Bang Season 1 released in 2007. This got released in 2008, and I'm curious if they tried to release this because of her star power at that time. I say star power, it was Season 1, but she became more of a known face. I know she had like 8 simple rules for dating my daughter. But anyhow, so this movie starts out, and first of all, let me tell you something. Do you remember what was big in the mid-2000s all over TV? Reality TV. Everything was reality TV. Reality competitions, reality shows. It was everywhere. That's what this movie kind of is. It makes fun of reality TV while being reality TV. So hold on. I'm going to kind of quickly read to you the first things, basically what the first thing that pops up on the screen from this movie. In 2008, a reality television crew was dispatched to a small town in North Dakota to cover the story of an underdog high school hockey team on their way to the state finals. One by one, members of the cast and crew went missing. So that's kind of the quick premise. So what happens is, though, the movie ends up being reality because as things are happening, like, it will pop on the screen their faces as they're commentating on the movie, but not what they're recording, and it was so fucking confusing.
That is terrible.
It is. This is very. So it starts after that. It gets into the first kill. Like this girl who's dating the star hockey player. They're closing up shop. She's riding her ATV around just to make sure. And you see this guy in a mask. You're like, okay, here it comes. And he's putting barbed wire up, like almost like where she's writing. I'm like, oh, I've seen this kill in Friday the 13th. I think it was like 3 or 4, where she's going to run through the wire and her head gets cut off. Lo and behold, she runs through the wire and her head gets cut off. Very funnily, comically. It's bouncing across. I started laughing. I was like, okay, this is how this movie's going to be. I got this. And so what happens is, yes, this crew is there to talk to these hockey players about this underground thing, underdog thing that's happening. They're making the state finals, which, by the way, the name of this hockey team is called the Gold Diggers. I'm going to say why this is a bad name in a little bit. But as they are talking to the hockey team, they find out about this murder. So the producer's like, hey, we should ask him about the dead body. Let's research this. The director's like, well, I kind of like the story of the underdog, team. This is going to be great. They're like, no one cares about that. So yes, they're trying to figure things out, but as they're doing it, members of this crew is dying one by one. Now, Kaylee Cuoco plays this actress named Blanca. not from Street Fighter, Blanca. Jill this whole time thought it was Bianca. I'm like, nope, we just watched this. It was Blanca. And she's like this famous, she's a famous celebrity, and she's there to research her next role. So she's kind of there, but they have to, maintain her to not go off in public, so they're kind of babysitting her. That's just the quick premise there. But yeah, she's like the famous Hollywood person. And so, yes, people are dying one by one. Everyone's in love with, like the high school cheerleaders are, looking up to her. They're all trying to want her autograph and stuff like that. And yes, everything. So one guy gets killed because he asks like the gym teacher's like, hey, can I use your equipment? I want to do a workout. And he's like, yeah, it's upstairs. Just turn off all the lights. And obviously he, after a stupid chase scene, he dies. But then he pops up on screen and kind of says, maybe getting that last minute workout was not such a good idea. I don't know where this movie was trying to go. It was trying to be a comedy or a very bad horror movie, Soto.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, is it supposed to be funny?
I think it is, but it's not. I laughed at the bad kills. Like, I kind of said it Under the Bed. The thing that Under the Bed had going for it was those kills were practical, done well, and shocked the living shit out of me. Because it took an hour for anything to happen, and I wasn't expecting that. So when it happened, I was like, oh, damn, this is good. And then the movie got shit again. This one had just very bad kills, where the blood splatter hits the camera, and something just happens like it doesn't matter. So I don't know. It is called a horror comedy, but it's not scary, and it's not funny. So, yes, they're trying to figure out, is it the guy who just got released from, like, the mental asylum who got released from this? Is this the dad of the hockey player because he wants his son to be able to go on and go to a great college, and that's why the girl died. So everything's just happening. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm just going to cut to the end because I'm not going to try and bore the shit out of you. And I was so checked out on this movie anyway. So yes, there's a lot of running around. Blanca, is like trying to help this. Yeah, I have to call her Blanca because it's so fucking hilarious to me. She's trying to help this little boy, and turns out, so the final chase, he's trying to kill her, and she takes off the mask, and for some reason, it's the sound guy because he's obsessed with her, so, he just is in love with her. No reason, bad reveal, but, no matter who they revealed, whatever. And the director just happened to come around the corner and shoot him 3 times. Like with a fucking shotgun rifle, whatever. So I'm going to say rifle. I don't think it was a shotgun. And so now they're at the end scene. This is really what I want to get to, Soto. So they're at the end. All the cops are there. They got the killer. And Blanca's sitting there with the lead hockey guy. And he looks at her and he's like, is it all worth it? Is the fame all worth it? And the director is looking where the body bag is. And for some reason he gets up, goes to the body bag, unzips it. It's empty. So I don't know how no one saw someone get out of a body bag, and there's a bulletproof vest there. So I'm like, all right, they put him in a body bag. He disappeared. He just walked away because they do that cutout shot, like, the director's alone at the body bag. Like, what the fuck's going on? And so, yes, the weird part is the hockey player asks her this, and she does this sheepish smile, and then it ends. It ends. So I was like, wait, was she in on it? What? Did she set this up because she just wanted to make something happen so she would be like the sympathetic actress? And that's it. So yeah. So this.
Oh my God, that sounds
terrible. So here was the question I pondered for almost 2 days. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to talk this out. Because first of all, I went in Under the Bed with no expectations. I just said, hey, I want a quick horror movie. Whatever happens, happens. It ended up being shit. Like I said, the acting was bad. Everything was bad except for those 2 or 3 kills in it. I was like, okay. So then I'm looking at Killer Movie. Obviously, my expectations were very low because my wife said, hey, this is the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, okay. So obviously, the expectations were lower. And because of that, like I said, I think I laughed at the kills, which weren't meant to be funny, but I'm just like, I don't know why. Now, I will say the acting was better in Killer Movie, but that's saying like Under the Bed was F, this was D-. So I'm not saying either one. I don't know how they had, because there's a few other faces that I felt like I recognized from other things. Mm-hmm. I don't know where to go with this other, because at least Killer Movie.
What is your heart say?
It's
What
not
does
the
your heart say?
worst.
What does your
It's
gut
not the
say?
worst. It's right above Under the Bed.
Then
Because
that's it. Then that's it.
and that's where I place it, mainly just because as bad of an execution of a story, it had a friggin' story. Whereas Under the Bed, just like, hey, we're just gonna make shit up, and you're just gonna enjoy these few kills and pretend nothing else happened. And so I swear to God, Soto, if there's one movie like at the end of the year, if we get close to the end of this and Under the Bed is still worse, I think you need to watch it. I think you do if it stays at the bottom. Well, no, not I'm not saying anything.
Either way, whatever ends up being worse than Under the Bed, I'll watch. And if it's Under the Bed, then I'll watch Under the Bed.
But yeah, so
that'll be like our end of year extravaganza.
we'll see. But like I said, both these movies are shit. They're beyond shit, just for different reasons. I did like the fact that Kaylee Cuoco was dropping the F bomb like mad. I'm like, oh, that's not Penny, like, or maybe it is, but it's just obviously a PG show. So I laughed at that, but yeah, there's more structure in this than Under the Bed, and I say that very loosely because there wasn't much. It was, like I said, they bounce around from reality TV to a documentary to just a murder mystery to a love story. I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? I can see why my wife said this is the worst movie she's ever seen. I do not doubt that. To a lot of people, this is shit, but they have not seen Under the Bed.
So you're like, was it a really bad movie? Watch Under the Bed. That movie is not even a movie.
I mean, let's put it this way: this is under Lift, and I hated Lift because there was nothing new, nothing that they brought to the table which excited me. Yeah, no, this is easily. I think this places it at number 19, but this is second to last. These two will be in the bottom. I don't know. I had high expectations for Killer Movie being worse. I wanted it to be worse, Soto. I couldn't do it. It was so close though, and I was sick. I was sick watching this movie, so that should have just put an exclamation point in this. But yeah, I did enjoy the kills better in Under the Bed. I just felt like there's a lot more story, as much as they didn't put it together in Killer Movie, because Under the Bed made no sense to me, no sense. But anyhow,